Hey, Dex Guys here. Welcome back to part 3 of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This is part 3 of our walkthrough of the complete game. Today we're going to be beating the Wellspring. Now, we pretty much started off exactly where we left off on part 2. So the journey to the Wellspring is quite simple and quite an obvious path where all it is quite simple platforming and an obvious direction. So if you want, you can skip directly to 6 minutes 31, which is where we'll be starting to scale the Wellspring. Well, actually we start by going underneath, but that's by the by. We'll start scaling at 6 minutes 31. So if you want to make your own way to the Wellspring and just rejoin me at 6 minutes 31, then that's up to you. Anyone who's still with us, then like I say, I'll stay on the commentary talking you through it. But basically you saw on the map where the Wellspring is. We're going to be going through a pretty simple area. To be honest, I probably should have left my last video off on this area, but I didn't, so I do apologise for that. The end of this video, I will just be leaving you with telling you to go back to the Toad. Now, I gave this something pretty weird here where I just decided to freeze and not load the next area, which again, I'm going to apologise because it's going to do it again right now with the lagging and the freezing of the game. Hopefully they're going to sort that issue out soon, but whilst there isn't a patch for it yet, unfortunately, we are still going to have to live with it and keep playing the game as it is at the moment. Not really a lot I can do about it at the moment, unless I go out and buy myself a brand new Xbox One X. If anyone fancies donating to me to buy an Xbox One X, that would be lovely of you. But for now, we're just going to have to live with it and make our way through the game. So if you're playing for the game for the first time, you would have just got an achievement popping for coming to this area for, I think it's called Welcome Home. So you're not actually going to do anything in this area at the moment, but you do get an achievement for getting here, which is just like a story-based achievement of just saying, well, there we go. So there's a few guys here to talk to. We aren't going to talk to any of them because they're all optional, which will make your game look better, and like side quests and things like that. Things that are irrelevant to the story. So we're just going to ignore everybody, just dash our way through the area on our way up to the I don't know what it's called. It's called Wellspring, but it's not really a well. It's more of a it's a big circle paddle. I'm not really sure what we can call it. I know the name of it. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. That's by the by. We will carry on going towards that area. My game is extremely laggy. I really hope we're going to fix this out because it makes the game so much longer to play and more frustrating to play. We've got a nice bit of platforming here at this point. Obviously, we're going to go over this little hump so we can climb the walls and then head bash our way over to the other side. Like so. Like I say, we're about halfway on our journey towards the Wellspring. It's pretty fun. It's almost like a clockwork tower when you'll see it when we are scaling it. But basically, the point of the level, and I'll probably re-go over this once we get there, is that you have to unlock all of the cogs which allow the wheel to turn, and it'll turn all of the poison water into normal water. And we have a massive freeze once again. I am sorry about this. I really hope they fix it, but for now we'll live with it. So we're nearly there at this point. I do think I go the wrong way at one point as well, but in a second we're going to start making our way upwards rather than continuously going left. Nice little fail of a jump there. And no, we can't make it just by jumping. We do have to jump to the left hand side and jump round, which is quite obvious, and head bash our way upwards, as I just mentioned to you slightly before. Keep making our way up. Up and up and up and up. There you go, it's telling you that the Luma pools is this way, but also is the Wellspring. We're going to make our way to the Wellspring. I like these enemies. These enemies that are firing at us at the moment that we're going to use to head bash off. It's just a shame. I mentioned it again. I've already mentioned it about 4 or 5 times in the video. The lag that's caused here. But once we make this jump, we'll get, there you go, you can see the spinny thing, which I still, it's not a windmill, it's just called a watermill. Anyway, we are now at the watermill, and here's a little cutscene to let us know that we need to make our way to the top of it, and if we get to the top of it, we can reactivate it, and Bob will be your uncle. I don't know why I say that, but Bob will be your uncle, and it will unlock the water, and the water will turn back from poison to being able to swim without damage. So we are going to go inside the, we'll call it the Wellspring. It's going to be like an inside, outside sort of thing, and we'll be finishing on the inside at the top. But it's just quickly telling you where you need to go. Obviously we'll finish in that last door right there. There we go. So I think we should probably start our adventure trying to make our way to the top. And if my timing should be right, people should now be rejoining us now if we joined in. So, the Wellspring. What we have to do is we have to scale from the bottom all the way to the top, and we need to find a creature at the top who we need to kind of move out of the way. And we also need to release all the cogs as we're going along. The cogs, you're not going to miss any, don't worry. All the cogs are required to move forward anyway. And you'll know when you're at the top and you meet the monster. That'll be pretty obvious, and when we reach it, you'll know what I mean. We've got some blue moss again, which you remember from the very start of the game allows you to jump on it and you can cling on it any direction. So the first thing we want to do is release the first set of cogs by going underneath the Wellspring. Now you have these alien egg looking like things that are clogging up the cogs. You need to destroy them, which will open them up and allow you to kind of jump on the cogs to progress. So that's the first one, which obviously, as you can see there from our cutscene, opens up the door and will allow us to start scaling upwards rather than downwards. Nice little funny cutscene. So now we've made our way around the cogs. We're going to go make our way back through the middle by head bashing, by pressing the right button to head bash, not doing a dash. We don't want to dash because the dash kills us, as you saw. We want to head bash into the middle of this cog, like so, and then we'll be going out the other side. Because at the moment we just want to make our way back into the door to allow us to progress with the mission. Bit of a tight jump, but you want to jump all the way over to the moss. Try not to die, and obviously you're just going back to where we started from, as you might have guessed. You will be getting a new ability halfway through this as well, which will allow you to catapult yourself off lights. But we'll see, that's about halfway up, and it will become useful. So we have a nice quick black screen, as always, nice and quick on this game. With a random bit of text as well, which out of context doesn't really mean a lot. But we are making our way into the door. It is just taking us a little sweet time to load in. And it should be any second now. Hopefully yours is a little bit smoother. There we go. So we've got a nice little cutscene, which I'll let play out. And there we go. We're now inside of the Wellspring, making our way up. So we're going to activate some more cogs, as you may have could have guessed. So we're going to head off to the right hand side, doing a little bit of platforming. And we're going to hit this egg to allow the wheels to spin. Those wheels are going to spin absolutely rapidly, but we don't need to go backwards. We're just going to continue going forwards for now. And heading towards another egg to take out. Make sure you do your jump just before you reach the top of the jump. That doesn't make sense. So directly upwards, you need to, when you're doing your jumps, you need to do just before you reach upwards. So obviously you can see another little, what I'm going to call an egg thing. Mistiming my jump there. Try number 2, mistime the jump there. Third time lucky. Maybe not. Fourth time lucky. There we go, fourth time lucky. I would recommend using your arrows to hit the eggs, just because you'll take damage if not, if you're standing too close to it. So if you're using your arrows, obviously you'll not be in the blast radius. So making your way right this time. This Wellspring is pretty massive, to be fair, on left side and upwards. There you go, and your top left, you'll have seen another little egg to activate the cogs on your top right. We're going to ignore the right side at the moment and start heading left. And as you can see, the cogs have stopped moving again, so obviously we need to find a way to activate them and not die. And as you could have guessed, there's another one to activate. Pretty simple stuff so far. Now, I do think I accidentally die here, which is obviously terrible of me, but you're pretty much used to it by now. Being absolutely a useless tool at activating at the right time. But we do get it third time, and I do believe that I do die here. Yep, and I managed to get hit by an enemy and die on easy, which is pretty embarrassing, but you know, it happens. I'm sure it happens to you too. So again, fling yourself up. Still terrible at timing. Still terrible at timing. Still terrible at timing. I think I've had 6 bad attempts at this so far. There we go. And we're up with the right amount of life. So you want to fire yourself back downwards from here. And we're almost at the part where we'll get our special ability, which will again help us to scale the tower up to the top. Just ignore the enemies as usual, make your way around the platform and area. And just down from this bridge, you'll find a tree which will give us the grappling ability, I believe. I think it's called grappling. But basically just allows you to grapple hook light from a distance and also moss resistance. Yep, grapple. So as you it demonstrates what the ability is. Anything with a blue light, you can basically fling yourself off, or if it's sticky, you'll be able to fling yourself onto and stick onto. So now we're going to pull a lever and we're going to exit from the same place that we entered from. Not the same place we entered from actually, it's the next part up. But now we have the grapple hook. It's going to make things a lot easier to scale. Well, if not practically impossible if we didn't have the grapple hook, as you could have kind of guessed. The game's now going to introduce you to the grappling mechanic to get yourself up to the top of the building. We are approximately halfway scaled up the building now. We need to head up to the right hand side, but obviously as you can see it's blocked. So we now need to make our way downwards in order to get upwards, if that makes sense. We're going to take 2 steps back to go 3 steps forward. Watch out for enemies, because they can ruin your grapples. Fortunately, you can't just go through them. Nice little swing, and then make your way through this little gap here. That will allow us to climb upwards. And we get a nice enemy put in our way, but that's not too bad. So there is a doorway that you've just seen. That's where we're heading to. So you don't need to destroy that if you don't want to, but you can if you want. And unfortunately I messed up the jump there. So head back to the same place that we were just in, and this time you're going to fling yourself upwards so that you can go into that doorway that you saw on the top right hand side. We'll just quickly do a little bit of platforming again. Fling yourself up. Use this to do a big jump upwards and then dash onto the platform. You can now go into this area, which will kind of be our main area before finishing the level. There's quite a nice platforming area in this where the clock's going to go. Well, I call it a clock. It's not a clock, it's a spinny wheel. But we'll call this the main area of the level, where you've got these lasers. Gosh knows where these lasers have come from. It doesn't really explain how there is such technological lasers or water squirting. Actually, no, it may be water squirting, but even then it doesn't really make sense, because why is the water not falling? It's just kind of being used as a laser. But obviously don't touch that, because that will cause harm to you. But you want to make your way down once you're inside, and you'll have this little mini, well, it's not even a boss area, but the mini battle area, where there's quite a few enemies spawn. I believe about 5 or 6 enemies will spawn. If you're playing on easy like I am here, they're really easy to take out. It's just literally a case of swinging your sword at them multiple times. They don't cause much damage to you, so you don't have to really worry about dying that much. And that's it. You now talk to this guy, and if you can probably already see on your screen that there's something you need to destroy above you, which is like the alien, like it's not an alien thing, but that green thing, we'll call it. Destroy that, and the big wheel will start to turn. Now, that isn't the bit that I was talking about that was pretty nice. That bit's coming up very, very shortly. Make sure you do your platforming properly, kids. So you want to make your way over to the right hand side. Now this is the bit that's pretty cool. So you're going to activate a lever, and it's going to change the area. As you can see here, the big wheel's going to change, and you need to go to the next part, activate another lever, which is within the same area, if that makes sense, and spin it again. You spin it 3 times and then you get out of there. But it is pretty cool that it uses the same area 3 times, but kind of changes the obstacle each time. So that was the first one. Now you need to go make your way up and to the right so that we can get to the next one. Make sure to do your jump right. I don't think I've done one jump this episode that was actually done right first time. There you go, then just go through the centre there so you don't get infected by the water. Platform your way over to the right and pull that lever so we can do a round again. So I believe there's one more to do. Then we can get ourselves out of here. See, that's really, really cool in my opinion. How it's changed the platform once again, so you've got, it's the same area but different obstacles. There we go. Damage boost your way through there if you're on easy so you don't die. And it spins one more time. We do actually have to go through it one more time, but we don't have any more levers to pull. We just need to make our escape now and get out of this area. Once we're out of this area, we've got one more door to go in and then kind of a little boss rush, which we'll see in a minute. When I say boss rush, I'll not spoil the secret. You might already know what's going to happen, but if not, I'll spoil the secret for you yet. So making our way, obviously we need to go to, we don't go to the left hand side this time, just to the right. Making our way out of the area. And upwards so we can go find a new door. Again, a pretty nice piece of platforming to do there. Try to do it without taking damage, but if you do, you do. And we can now destroy this area, which, as you can tell, because the game's frozen again, there's a nice little cutscene to go alongside. The game does not like loading cutscenes up, but it will in a second. We'll just wait to get out of the darkness. So that, as you can see now, the cogs on the outside are spinning. We just need to make our way into that door. As you can see, that you probably could have seen there was only 2 little jumps that you need to do to get into that area, so it's quite simple. So we need to make our way back to the doors, which is quite simple to get to. You just jump on this cog, then go through the middle of it, through the crack you can see. I don't quite make the other side for the quick exit, but you just fall down the crack and there is your door. Exit the door and use the 2 cogs on your upper left to make your way to the new door, the upper door, top door, whatever you want to call it. So you grapple hook up. Wait for the blue moss to come round so you can grapple hook again. And there we go. We're now in the last room that we need to be in. We do have the boss to beat. Well, we don't really beat the boss, which we're pretty much there now, so I can explain what we're going to be doing. Once we reach it, there is 3 more jumps that you need to make. And then we do the boss area. Nice one, Dex missing that jump. There we go. Fling yourself up with your grapple hook. Then jump to the top area and go to your left, where you're going to be grabbed. Oh no! Obviously that's where we're going. I'm not even going to begin to try and put a name to that enemy. But that enemy is now going to start chasing you. So you need to get out as quickly as possible, platforming your way on the right hand side. Not too difficult to accomplish, but obviously we'll keep the game running to see, to show you what you need to do. But just keep double jumping and dashing to the right hand side and you should be safe. There's a couple of head bashes you need to do and a couple of grapples you need to do, as seen here. But for the most part it's not too difficult to do. And you've got plenty of time in case you make a mistake as well. Obviously just avoid hitting the spike in this area, not too difficult. And make your way out. Head bash off that lantern. Dash and grapple onto this wheel. And grapple again. And we're going to head bash again. Making sure that you press the right button. Again. And that's what I mean by there's plenty of times to make a mistake. If you do make a mistake, you can die here. And if you die, you've got to restart the whole thing. But it is quite difficult to die. You've got to make you've got to make 4 or 5 mistakes before the game punishes you with a death. Now I'm gonna get into this big wheel. You want to make your way to the other side. Quite simple by just head bashing across all of the little different lights. And the game manages to freeze again. We're going to head bash up to the next one, and then you're going to grapple to the right, and that will be the end of this boss chase, we'll call it. There we go. You're going to shoot out with a load of water, and that is now this particular area cleared, and the water, well, the poison is now water. So I'm going to leave this walkthrough in this part here. The next thing you need to do is make your way back to that giant toad, but all you need to do that is go back the way that you came. It's pretty simple on the map. It's a straight path where you'll not have anything like any obstacles you've got to get past. So I'm going to leave my video here. I'll rejoin you on the toad for part 4, which I don't actually know the name of yet, but I will get that one out as soon as possible, probably tomorrow, hopefully, if not the next day. Most of these have been daily, which is pretty good on my side. If you are enjoying these videos, please smash that like button and leave me a comment to let me know how you're enjoying the game. Subscribe if you're new for new daily guides, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!